Hi everyone, I'm Meredith and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so excited that you found me, and if you're returning, I'm so grateful you've decided to come back and watch more. I love all things luxury. I love luxury shoes, I love luxury handbags, luxury lifestyle and vlogging, and if they're things that appeal to you, I hope you'll do me a massive favor and hit that subscribe button down below. Hitting that subscribe button costs you absolutely nothing and means so much to me, so I hope you'll help me out. Today I am doing the 10 bags, luxury bags, that I will never sell. Now, the word never, in inverted commas, is a absolute. And let's face it, nothing in this world is absolute. It can't possibly be. So in the event that my family fell on hard times and I had to liquidate my entire collection, of course, I would sell these bags to keep a roof over my children's and my husband and Maya's head, and keep us fed and clothed. Of course I would do that. That would be ridiculous to say that I would never sell them in those circumstances. But in a normal day-to-day circumstance where I do not need to sell bags to keep my children fed or a roof over our head, then these would be the 10 bags that I would never sell. So I'm about to have a large vlog sale coming because I am curating, as much as I might hate the word, still gives me a tick every time I say it. I am somewhat curating my collection and getting moving out bags that no longer suit the lifestyle that I have. I have evolved as a person, my collection is evolving with me, and also I have general lifestyle changes that are happening as your children get older. It's part of life. When they're little, you need to carry bags for certain purposes, and as they get older you don't need to carry those bags anymore. So yes, there will be a large vlog sale coming as I start to really drill down into my collection and look at it and go, what do I want to keep emotionally, as a collector? What am I keeping? Where is my collection going? And what do I no longer need, don't feel emotionally attached to, and is really not a collector's piece? What can I move on? So as I start to do those things, I really am considering my bags. But there are definitely bags in my collection that I could not ever part with. I don't feel like I can part with unless dire circumstances happened. I am so tied to them. They make me happy. They are core pieces in my collection, or they have such strong emotional attachment to me. The thought of selling them is just beyond comprehension to me. Like it would bring me pain to sell them. And that's not because I'm hoarding them, but because they are core pieces of my collection. So I have narrowed that down to 10. And even that was hard. There are definitely pieces around me that aren't part of the 10 that I couldn't sell. There are historical pieces to me, pieces that I have had for 20 plus years that I wouldn't want to sell, but they didn't make the top 10. So I certainly have, the bag I bought in Paris on my first trip to Paris. It's just a Louis Vuitton messenger bag in canvas, but it holds that emotional attachment to me. And I actually pulled it out for the last vlog sale I did, and then I put it back. I said to Connor, sorry, I can't sell it. I've changed my mind. It's the bag I bought the first trip to Paris. I'm not ready. I just can't let it go. It's got emotional attachment to me. It's got a memory of that first trip to Paris. I've got a Chanel bag that I bought in New York on my first trip to New York, and I can't let it go either. I don't use it anymore, but I can't let it go. So I definitely have pieces outside these ones that have strong emotional attachment to me, and I would really struggle to let go, but these were my top 10. So the first bag is a GM Neverfull. Now, realistically, it doesn't have to be this exact GM Neverfull. However, this is my favorite GM Neverfull. It is in the original monogram, and it has the pink interior. I also have this bag with the beige interior, and the beige is the first one I bought because I used it as a baby bag for my son, which when you think about the way I look at things, if you presented me with the pink and the beige and said, all right, Meredith, you've got to sell one, gun to your head, which one are you going to choose? I probably would sell the pink one, because that beige one is the baby bag I used for my son only for about 6 weeks, and then it annoyed the living daylights out of me, and I chose to use a normal baby bag. I've done a whole video about luxury baby bags. I'll link it down below in case you're planning to have a child. But yes, the GM Neverfull. It's a workhorse. It is an amazing travel bag. It goes on every trip with me. One of the versions goes on every trip with me. I believe it is one of the most functional luxury handbags, and it fits so much, and it just works with my lifestyle. So I would have a GM Neverfull up until the very death of my collection. I believe even if I sold all the other ones, I would need to keep one, because it just does so much and I use it so often. It is one of the most used bags in my collection, other than my Petite, which I carry every day. Yeah, it would definitely stay. Funnily enough, Petite did not make this video. It is not one that I would hold onto for dear life. I would sell it if I needed to sell it before I sold all of these ones, because yes, it's a great functional everyday bag for me and I do use it every single day, but it does, if I was at that point where I had to sell so many of my bags because things were dire, I would sell it, and every day for work I'd just use like a cheap something from a everyday store. Like, it wouldn't even need to be a high-end bag, because I don't get seen for work. It is literally just something to carry my crap in. But it's a very nice thing to carry my crap in, my Petite, but it is not... as much as I love it, as functional as I think it is not something that I am so emotionally attached to. I would struggle to get rid of it. So yeah, fun fact, the Petite did not make the cut. All right, the next bag is my Birkin 30 in the color Framboise, in Togo leather with palladium hardware. I always love that when we talk about Hermes bags, we have to give all the specs about them. So yes, this is the one I chose. Now, there are many of you who are going, really? That's the Birkin you're going to keep of all your Birkins? I have 5 Birkins and 2 Kellys, and quite a large Hermes collection. But this is the one, this would be the last of the Hermes bags to go for me. I'd sell off all the others. And even my special order, yes. Some of you are going, but you've got a special order. Yes, I do. I have the black Birkin 35 special order. I have a picnic Birkin 25. Like, my collection is, even if I do say so myself, pretty impressive in terms of what I have managed to get offered from the store and buy. But this was my first. See, emotion always plays a role in it. It is not the one that is worth the most amount of money on the resale market. It was not the most expensive one, but it was my first. It was my first Birkin. It was my first quota bag offer from the store, and it is pink with palladium hardware, and it is all things me. I said to my sales associate on the day that he offered to me, this is the color of my soul. I have no doubt that if you could open people up and look at their souls, this is the color mine would be. So yeah, this would be the last one I sold off. Doesn't mean I'm going to sell any of the others. I love all the others. They're not going anywhere. But this one would be the last to go. It makes my top 10 because it was the very first Birkin, and I never, ever in a million years thought that I was going to own a Birkin. I remember being in store with my husband, and he's like, are you going to ask about one of those bags, those bag things that you want? I'm like, the Birkin. He's like, yeah. I'm like, no, because I'm never going to get one. Like, I can't forge a relationship to the point that they're going to offer me a Birkin. He's like, I'm going to ask about it. Off he went. And that's how I ended up getting the Birkin, because he started the conversation, talked to my sales associate about it, made him aware that I desperately wanted one. We built a relationship, and lo and behold, I got exactly the Birkin I wanted in the exact specs, and it's this one. So thank you to my husband for having more guts than I do. But yes, that makes the list. Gwen. My beautiful, beautiful Gwen. So this is my most expensive handbag in my entire collection. This is my Capucines BB from Louis Vuitton, and it is a custom made bag. I chose this crocodile finish for it, and it is stunning. I adore this bag. I love these colors. I love the satin finish. I love that it is more than likely the only one that exists in the world. Now, someone else could have done a custom made one in this exact finish. I have never seen another one. To the best of my knowledge, this is the only one that exists in the world. And it is so, so beautiful. I love that it was custom made for me. I love the finish. Crocodile is not one of my favorite exotics, but this finish in this crocodile, oh my God, it's just everything. So yes, I love this bag. I could never part with it. To be fair, I would never get the money back for it anyway. Exotics don't have any, don't hold their value. They just don't. So I would never see the money for this again, but I wouldn't be able to part with it anyway because it is so beautiful and it was custom made for me. So yeah, I love this bag so much. And she is called Gwen after Gwen Stefani from No Doubt. No Doubt are doing Coachella and hopefully they're going to tour. And oh my goodness, if they could come to Australia, I would be super happy. Just putting it out there, No Doubt. Come to Australia, please. Love to see them live. So there's that one. The next one is a wok from Chanel. Now, is there anything special about this wok? Not really. Does it hold special memories to me? Not really. But it's my favorite wok. And I travel with this one all the time. So anytime I go overseas, this one comes with me. It is in pink, clearly, and it is in this camellia pattern. And it is so hard wearing. I love woks. I've done a whole video on how woks are the best luxury bag you can put your money into. I will link it down below in case you haven't seen it. And this one is my absolute favorite. Love this wok. It would be hard for me to give this one up. I own lots of woks, like a dozen now. This one would be very hard for me to get rid of because I use it so much. It goes with pretty much all my wardrobe because it's pink. It travels so well. It's so hard wearing because of the texture of it. And yes, love this wok. And I've had this for I want to say 4 years now. So I bought it, I think it was like $3,000 when I bought it. Maybe 4. Was definitely not more than $4,000. So yeah, I've had this long enough that it was not cheap. Let's not use that word when we talk about Chanel, but definitely cheaper than it is now. So love this wok. This wok is iridescent white, and this was one of my wedding bags. I carried 2 bags on my wedding day, and this was the first. And because of that and that reason alone, I could never part with it. It is so pretty. It's so gorgeous. I owned it for years and years, and I bought it and I'm like, oh, it's such a pretty white. And it was so unusable as a bag. It just sat on a shelf for years and years. And then my wedding came around and I went, that's why I bought that bag all those years ago. That's why it's been sitting there. It's been waiting for this moment to be used. And it is so pretty. Like, shocking color. I mean, let's face it, white. Why would you do a white bag? But for a wedding, perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I hold on to this one in the hopes that maybe one day one of my children will get married and maybe it will make an appearance at one of their weddings. And perhaps at that point it might be gifted to one of them. I don't like to think that I will ever force my children into getting married or force that thought on them. Oh, you should get married when you get older. I really want my children to make those decisions on their own. They may choose to never get married. They may choose to never enter into a partnership. They may end up in same-sex partnerships. I don't ever project onto my children what I want, what I expect their life to look like, because I want them to make those decisions, and I work very hard at that. You know, and I pull people up on it. Oh, when you get married, when people say that to my kids, and I go, they might not get married. Like, I don't want my children to ever feel like I have pre-planned their life for them. Maybe you don't want to get married. Maybe you don't want to go to university. Maybe you will end up in a same-sex marriage. Maybe maybe you just end up in a same-sex partnership. I don't care, as long as they're happy. All I want for my children is to be happy. But I will admit, somewhere in the back of my brain, teeny tiny little part of the back of my brain, I'm like, if I hold on to this long enough, it might get another run with one of them one day. And then my other wedding bag was this stunning Fendi First. I adore this Fendi First. I had to get this from the UK. It came from the London Fendi because we didn't get it in Australia. And I just love it. It is bling bling. And I carried this for my reception and I just love it. I have pictures of several of my wedding guests. Nick, Peter, if you watch this, I have pictures of several of my wedding guests picking this up and looking at it. And I love that about it. And yeah, it's just stunning. It did get knocked around at the wedding. There's a few marks on it, but I don't care. It's just such a beautiful bag. I feel like because of the type of bag it is, and it is all this bling bling, that it would be a great one to keep as an evening bag going down the track. And like, if it was one of the last bags in my collection, it would hold, it would be handy to use as an evening bag. But yeah, I love this bag. I love it. And they do this Fendi First in a crystal edition with the FFs through it at the moment. But the fact that this is just crystallized with no branding on it other than the F lock, and if you know, you know it's a Fendi First. Love that about it. It's so beautiful. And I'm so grateful that London managed to get it for me and get it shipped to me. So love this bag. Okay, let's go over here. Stevie. This is Stevie. This is my Petite Malle in from Louis Vuitton in Lizard, in this amazing iridescent blue with the monogram pattern through it. It's gorgeous. This was one I saw a picture of at the time. I really wasn't buying much, but it lived so rent-free in my head. I had to buy it. I just had to. It was so stunning, and I am so glad I did. This is a crowd favorite. So many of you love this bag. It's got silver hardware. I've called it Stevie after Stevie Nicks, because I love Stevie Nicks and I love Fleetwood Mac, and I just feel like it's got real Stevie vibes. In my will, this will be left to Connor from the closet because I have promised him he adores this bag. And yes, Connor, if I die, it's yours. You have it on film many times now. Mr. Lux will absolutely honor that. This is yours. But this bag will be one of the last ones to leave my collection because I love it so much. It's so beautiful, such a gorgeous finish, and it's so different. You don't see these anywhere. I've never seen another one ever. So, but it was just one I bought off the shelf. So I'm sure there are other ones out there, but I know they didn't make many because I've certainly never seen another one. But yes, Stevie. My Chrysler bag. This was a bag I bought for my 40th birthday. I carried it for the dinner we had for my 40th birthday. I had gone into store to look for a bag. I was not planning to spend this much money, but having said that, it wasn't as much money as you might think it is. And my sales associate at the time said to me, do you want to see my favorite bag in the whole store? And I was like, sure, I'll have a look. I'm probably not going to be able to afford it, but I'll have a look. And he bought this down. And I was like, oh my God, I love New York. New York was one of my favorite places on earth. And this is the Chrysler building and this is amazing. And then he told me how much it was and I was like, I'm buying the bag. It's my 40th. So I think this was like $11,000, which yes, is a lot of money. I understand that. But look at the work in this. It's amazing. And they have one of these in the museum at Agnières at the House of Louis Vuitton. And I'm like, oh, they have my bag. It's in the silver. They also did this in a black. My sales associate who sold this to me sold it on the proviso that when he dies, he wants to be cremated and live inside his bag in my wardrobe. And I have agreed to that. Heath, I have agreed that you can live in this bag. But it is just such a different bag and it's just so me because it's New York and it's different and it's beautiful and I love it. Would be so hard pressed to get rid of this. If I had to liquidate my collection, it would absolutely be one of the last ones to go and I would struggle. Richard. This is my duck. This is Richard, everybody. And yeah, he is my duck. I love ducks. I have loved ducks for years now. I have Jenny up here. So this is my duck, Jenny. And my beautiful subscriber Jenny, who has watched me from the very beginning and is always so kind and so lovely. She gifted this to me for my birthday this year. So in her honor, I have named my duck Jenny. And she sits up there. But this is my duck. And I just love him. I can't explain. I've never carried him outside this room, but I'm making a concerted effort this year that he's going to make it to something. I need an event. I need another Louis Vuitton event to go to where I can carry Richard with me. I saw someone sent me on Instagram a listing for one of these ducks the other day. Now I paid $5,000 for this duck, which I think is ridiculous given the amount of work in this. I couldn't believe how cheap, I know it's not cheap, but considering how much work is in this duck and how different it is, I couldn't believe that that's how much they charged. And I saw one listed, the person who sent it to me, I saw the listing, it was like $10,000, so it was double the price. And I went, really? I don't know if anyone's going to pay that for these, because they're, you know, it's pretty out there. Not a lot of people want a duck bag. But yeah, I love Richard. I love ducks. I'm banned from having ducks. I'm not allowed to buy ducks for myself anymore. My husband has banned me because I went a little bit nuts there for a while and we had 300 yellow plastic ducks in the house. I'm not allowed to buy them anymore. But a few people have sent them to me, and they're slowly working their way into the house again on the, you know, under the pretense that I didn't buy them. What am I going to do? They sent it to me as a gift. I can't do anything about that. I get this look from my husband. I know what's going on here. So yes, I have some ducks that are slowly coming back into the house, but this is my favorite duck, my Louis Vuitton duck. So Richard would be one of the absolute last to leave my collection because he is beloved. He's part of the family. Richard is part of my family. So yes, he is staying. And then the last one, not an expensive one, not by any stretch of the imagination, my Speedy 25 from Louis Vuitton, which is my very, very first luxury handbag. This was the first bag I ever bought. It is 23 or 24 years old, this bag. It is old. It has the original lock on it. I don't know where the key is anymore. I'm sure I could find one that fit it if I needed to, but you can see it's highly tarnished. It is well loved. It has marks on it. On the handles there are some marks because I carried this because it was my only luxury handbag for many years and I love it. At the time I bought this, I want to say I paid $700 or $800 for it. It was definitely hundreds. It was definitely not thousands. And now they are worth so much more money than that. But in terms of investment, it wouldn't fetch a huge amount of money. It would probably I'd probably get what I paid for out of it, but it doesn't, I don't keep it because, I wouldn't keep it because it was a huge investment. I keep it for the emotional attachment to it. It's my very first luxury handbag I ever bought. As a luxury collector, that holds like such a huge premium for me. Like it's got pride of place. It sits at the top of the hierarchy of my collection because it was the first. It started the journey, the journey around me, and it's probably the most important bag for that reason. In my entire collection, it would be the most important bag because it kicked off that love. And it's the reason I love Louis Vuitton first and foremost, because this was the choice. This was the bag that I wanted first. I wanted a Speedy, and I love it. And the fact that it was, it's the very first handbag that Louis Vuitton ever made, and it's the first handbag I ever bought from them. That means something to me, and I'm like it's one of those strange things. The way you rationalize things in your head is yours and yours alone, but I kind of draw those comparisons. It was the very first handbag Louis Vuitton ever made. It was the very first handbag I chose to own, and I just love it. So yeah, it's not going anywhere. It would probably be, well, I know, it would be the absolute last bag that I sold in my entire collection. First in, last out. That's how it works. So I would be holding on to this, and it would be like, you have to sell that bag to feed your family right now. And that would be the point at which I went, all right, I have to sell it. I'd have no choice. So yeah, it would be a tough one for me. So yes, that's my last one. So they're the 10 bags that I would never, and I say that, I know that you never say never. There might come a time that I outgrow some of these. But I just can't see it. I can't imagine wanting to part with any of these 10. I can't. It's beyond me. And like I said, there are other honorable mentions around me that I would really struggle with. My entire Murakami collection, my entire denim collection from Louis Vuitton, from Marc Jacobs era, that I have worked tirelessly to collect. If I had to then sell them because things were dire, I would do so with like crying. I would, because I have worked so hard on those collections. But I acknowledge that when things are tough, you make tough decisions and you have to do what's best for your family, most certainly. But they would be ones that the ones below this one would be all of those collections. And they would probably be ones that I'd probably do all right with in terms of money. But the thought after all the hours I've spent trolling, looking for pieces, collecting them, bringing them back to life to then sell them on. Oh, no. I do have that big vlog sale coming where I'm going to move pieces on, and I already have an ongoing list in my head. Let me know if you want a pre-video to that. Like maybe I can do a vlog style video where I rationalize some of the things that are going in my head and why I'm looking at moving on pieces. And then I can do the actual vlog sale. So if you want that style of video where I'm giving you rationalizing and the crazy thoughts that are in my head, then I'm more than happy to do that. So let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, there's a big vlog sale coming. I feel like there's probably 40, maybe even a few more pieces that are gonna go. And this process to me is always a long one. I start at weeks and sometimes months before I actually do the vlog sale, because it takes me time to get to the point where I'm like okay with the pieces and I'm letting go of. But that has already started to be a process I'm going through. So make sure you subscribe down below, because that is most certainly coming, probably closer towards the end of the Australian financial year. So Australia's financial year runs 1st of July to 30th of June. So it'll probably be close to the end of the financial year for Australia, but it's definitely coming. So make sure you're subscribed if you're interested, and let me know if you want that other video about my rationalization in the comments down below. If you've liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button down below. It means a lot to a content creator when you hit that subscribe button. Please also hit the little bell notification so you know when I upload videos, which is usually twice a week. I'll also throw up my Instagram handle for you so you can follow me over there. I put lots up in real time, lots around my collection and my day-to-day life, so please come follow me over there. I hope wherever you are in the world today, you are having a fabulous day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.